Anybody have a sign I can read out loud? That's good. That's gold.
A few years ago, I had a sign you could read. I really pissed my neighbor off, too.
Oh, what was that?
Somebody was letting their dog shit in my yard. And all up and down the sidewalk. So I took it upon myself to make a little homemade sign and post it out.
You're one of those.
I tried to put it to where it wasn't in somebody's specific yard, just to not be that big of an asshole about it. But I mean, it was going on forever. And the kids, this is when my son was little. So that's where the kids had to stand and wait for the bus. And there was dog shit everywhere. So I just wrote a little sign, and it was really nice. I was like trying to be comical about it. Like, how about we all like pick up our dog poo so the kids don't shred it? And I woke up the next day, went out, and I had a return note stuck on my sign. They're like, I don't even have a dog.
Well, then it wasn't for you.
This was. It's not even in a yard. What are you talking about? But he didn't even spell even right. He spelled it Evan. I'm like,
oh, nice.
How do you know his name wasn't Evan?
Maybe it was Evan.
Maybe it was Evan. I don't know.
The sign that I probably would have made would have been something to the extent of, if I find your dog's poop, I'll make you eat it. Something like that. Something nice and warming and welcoming.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to say, I'm going to scoop up the shit and put it on your front door and see how you like that.
It's poop again.
But I tried to be nice.
Billy Madison set it on fire.
Yes. He called the shit poop.
Call the fire department. This one's out of control.
Put it out with your boots, Ted. Don't tell me my business, devil woman.
Tony says that to me almost on a daily basis. If I like ask him to do something or tell him that he did something wrong, he'll pull out that line.
Oh, that's gold. Aged perfectly, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys seen Thinner? The movie Thinner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you saying that because Christian looks like the thinner version of me? Is that what you're asking?
No.
I'm the post Ozempic photo from the commercials.
The before and after.
No.
Great.
Because she told me that Tony also does that to her all the time, the thinner part, and she's never seen it. So I was curious if you guys know what we're talking about. We go like thinner.
Yeah. That is a great movie. Is that Stephen King?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't even know that it was Stephen King.
A little spooky.
That was my story.
Yeah, I'm
So
sticking
random.
to it.
That's my story. That's all I got.
Let me tell you.
Is Stephen King, this might be a dumb question, is Stephen King the most, first of all, the richest, but also most accomplished author of all time, do you think?
He's probably up there, if not.
It wouldn't surprise me.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy who does the CSI type shit? Dean Koontz?
Oh, I was thinking Tom Clancy.
Oh, maybe Tom Clancy, yeah.
He's more true crime, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
There's also Nicholas Sparks. A lot of his stuff gets made into things.
It's freaking horror if I ever saw it.
Wait, that's Twilight, right?
No, that's
The Notebook,
Stephanie Meyer.
right?
Stephanie
Stephanie
Meyer,
Meyer.
that's right.
No, Nicholas Sparks. He's he does a lot of mom books that get turned into mom movies, but weird
Live,
enough,
Laugh, Love.
He's from Omaha. He was born in Omaha.
You know who else is from Nebraska? That's a really great author. My favorite author is Brandon Sanderson. He's from Lincoln.
Who?
I don't know who that is.
We just took over this podcast. Welcome back to the Remain Rome Return podcast, everybody.
Your regular listeners are like, what is going on?
They've been infiltrated.
Oh man, this is terrible. Okay, I had a double espresso coffee, so let me chill. So what's
Hey,
up?
I
with
got
this
an
for you?
energy drink.
Bring in the
I do have
energy.
Did you go to the coffee place just down the road?
I actually made it myself today because I was running behind.
Oh, the Nespresso that I broke.
That you broke. We had to get a new one.
That actually is a true story.
That is a true story.
And I was like, hey, no, I don't want to use this. I'm going to break it. And then immediately breaks it.
I was like, dude, it's so easy to use. You're not going to break it. And somehow he managed to break it. You push one button to make coffee, and he broke it.
Oh, that was my problem.
I'm not much of a
Take you
buttons
anywhere.
guy.
Let's actually let the actual host of this podcast.
All right.
Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Bazaar. I'm Montana,
I'm Jessica.
and we have two wonderful, fun guests here, Damien and Christian from Remain Rome Return podcast. Say hi, guys.
What up?
Welcome to Weekly Bazaar.
So happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us.
Happy to have you. We had so much fun with you guys a couple weeks ago. We couldn't wait to have you on. On
That
our
was
side
a really
of
fun one.
Our side of Riverside and all the chaos.
Oh man, yeah, happy to be here. That was so much fun, and we were like, we got to run that back like right away.
I was thinking about you guys last night at 2:30 in the morning, and don't get any ideas. Don't worry, it's nothing like that.
You know what? Call back to our episode. You know what 16-year-old girls do at home
when they're home alone.
But I was fighting with my computer last night trying to get our video for your YouTube finished, and for whatever reason, Riverside had just randomly blacked us out here and there. Like, just the screen just went black for a while, for like 5 seconds here and there. And I just was thinking of you and how you're like, you appreciate that we bitch about that stuff on our podcast. So yeah,
it's important. The people have to know.
Continues. Yeah.
How much effort we put in for you listeners. We willingly do it, but also
for
we're going to bitch about it. 4
of the Remain Rome Return listeners.
And all 5 of ours, making progress.
I gotta call you out for that one. You guys keep saying that you get like 10 listens. I'm like, have you looked at your YouTube lately? You guys are exploding.
We are doing better there, but we are like looking at your views too. You guys have some magic or something. Like, the secrets, because you get so many views on your social medias. I was noticing that. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Just on the shorts. People seem to interact with the shorts, but they do not like the full versions.
Like we like it. We're like Pepsi. You want a little taste, but not the whole can.
That's great. That's our new marketing campaign. If you like Pepsi, you'll love Remain Rome Return.
Oh, that's perfect.
I'm a Coke
person.
That's
why I keep them around. Damn it. I didn't think about the Coke people. Well, let my rapid movements be for the Coke people then. Oh, wait, were you talking about Coca-Cola?
Sure.
Okay. Damn it. Wrong again.
So it's funny because, Damien, you're more into what our podcast is, a lot of supernatural, paranormal, where Christian, not so much.
Nope, not. As I think I called the EMF readers, the spooky meters. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, he's a man of science, if you don't know.
A man of yes.
Man of science. But yet here he is on our podcast, so doing something right.
It's true.
We got you here.
I think you two might have converted him a little bit.
We'll get into it when we talk about some of the topics that we brought with spookiness.
Which is why we're here today. Because this came up on their episode with us, Hummel Park, correct? Yeah, Hummel Park, correct. Which we had never heard of, or at least I hadn't. I don't know if you had, Montana, I can't remember or not. But So yes, we're bringing them over here so that they can tell us about all the spooky shit that's happened there. And I cannot wait because I know nothing.
Yeah. Very contrary to our podcast, we actually did research for this.
Hey, we'll just sit back, relax, and let you guys take over.
Yeah. Well, Hummel Park is, just for a quick breakdown, it's a park that everybody in Omaha for sure knows about, but I feel like most people in Nebraska know.
I would say so.
Yeah, know at least a little bit about Hummel Park. So there's, as you can imagine, plenty of stories that may or may not have been proven over the years, and I think we want to get into some of them.
Yeah, kind of like a quick recap of what Hummel Park is. So it's, first of all, Nebraska's not woodsy at all. Majority of the Midwest, it's very flat and plain, and so Hummel Park is super woodsy in a place that doesn't have wood. So it also I feel like woods just make things creepier automatically.
Definitely.
And for clarity, it's 202 acres of woods. So
you did do your research.
Like the 100,000 acre woods from Winnie the Pooh, but 202 acres.
Yeah. And I think what makes it also creepy is it's I think a 10-minute drive from proper downtown Omaha. And so we'll get into with these stories, but historically it's known for also having just actual crimes happen there. So I think that also feeds into it because oh, I want to do something or I need to dump a body, which we'll also get into because we did look, besides the, I'm going to call it fake spooky stuff.
The true crime side?
The actual true crime side, which also I can definitely see why feeds into the spookiness, because as I was kind of doing thinking about it and my own thoughts of spookiness of true crime and spookiness are a very good Venn diagram, right? because the spooky happens because a lot of the time someone was like murdered at a place. And they're like, oh yeah, they still haunt this cemetery. And so, yeah, I think that adds definitely the spookiness is just the historical aspect of it being close to so close to Omaha and all the true crime that happened.
Fun fact as well, it actually got its name after one of the park's superintendents. Sometimes parks are named after somebody like a political figure or something like that. This one was just named after one of the superintendents that lived there. And I believe it was established in like 1930. So it's pretty old. It goes back quite some time. But just for some geography, it sits in Ponca Hills along the Missouri River bluffs, known for its hiking and trails and summer programs for kids. So that's kind of the backstory of it.
I guess that's also another geography lesson of Omaha. So yeah, Midwest, no trees, very flat. This area is also super hilly. And so you can get lost very easily in these hilly woods because as Nebraskan, you're just like, we can't see where we're going.
I can't see straight ahead of me. I don't know where I'm going.
And that was an Omaha accent if you've never heard it.
Oh, can't find where I'm going now.
That was a first, and I'm enlightened.
But look, there's Burger King.
Yeah.
You probably could see
Bernice, right?
Yeah, Bernice.
Sorry, that's a callback to before we were recording, but
yes.
But anyway, so that's a little bit of the backstory. Do you want to pop off real quick about the first thing you have, the deep history?
Yeah. So of course, with anything in the Midwest, it was first settled by like white people settlers who first came to Omaha. And of course, with also everything in the Midwest, it was rumored to be buried on a ancient Native American burial ground. So,
or built on a burial ground.
Yes, built on a burial ground. So, that always checks off a Midwest spooky box right there, being like, it's haunted. It was buried, or it was built on a burial ground. And so, yeah, it's kind of predates a lot of like. One of the first actual legends about it was that a guy named Jacob Claytonoff set up before the park even existed, like when they first, like way back when white settlers first came to the area, his wife had murdered him and buried his body in that area. So he's like the OG ghost of Hummel Park.
The OG.
He's probably mad.
He still walks the woods.
Yes. And so people do see sights of him through the wood sometimes.
So is he one of those ghosts that we were just talking about this on our last episode, where they're like stuck in a loop where they do the same thing, like so people will witness him like taking the same path at the same time?
Yeah. He's definitely like one of those. And I honestly, this was one during our research that actually I had not heard of. He's not one of the big major ones. He's not a star of the urban legends of Hummel Park.
Even though he's the OG, that sucks.
Even though he's the OG, he got forgotten.
He probably is pissed.
Isn't that how it works? Another fun part about it is, so they say that his wife murdered him, but there's no trace of her either. So they don't know if she left, like maybe had an affair and left, or if maybe something happened to her as well. But kind of interesting where they know he was married, but after his murder, there's no trace of her again in history.
Did they have children?
I don't think so.
Yeah, not much is known about him besides, just being murdered by his wife.
I mean, did they prove that?
I think so.
I guess I don't know how that happened. If I feel like they would have had to known something, right? Or they just assumed that she was like a witch or something.
Maybe.
Probably. Jessica, the term for the time loop thing we were talking about is residual.
Yeah.
That's the term I was looking for.
I put it up on the video. I looked it up last night, and so I put it up so that people would know what we were talking about. Yeah. Residual.
Haunting. So it's
really
just
sad.
over and over.
It's really sad. Like if these people or if these beings, ghosts, have any kind of consciousness, that makes it even more sad because they're just reliving the same thing again and again and again.
Like Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
I can't remember. I just saw it. That's my mind. Well, it was just Groundhog Day. I think he saw a shadow. We're having more winter, which is not great. Talking about the weather in the Midwest. Also a topic we were talking about before we hit record.
He did see a shadow?
I'm pretty sure he saw a
He did.
shadow. So 6 more weeks of winter.
That explains the
Great.
7 inches of snow overnight.
Yeah.
That is true.
Thanks, Punxsutawney.
Also,
And there's a nor'easter going up the coast too, so it's winter is back.
Also, some people call groundhogs woodchucks, which I find very interesting.
No, they don't.
They do.
Those are
do you
different
think
species.
What do you think a woodchuck is?
A woodchuck is the thing that builds dams.
It's a beaver.
Oh, shit. Well, we're not here to discuss biology, okay?
I love actually how you said the proper science.
Well, you are a man of science.
Oh,
And that's how I know that a woodchuck and groundhog are the same thing, but a beaver is very different.
Why does my mind go to these places? It just reminded me of that SNL skit, The Battle of Big Beaver.
Yeah.
Colonel Angus. Battle of Big Beaver.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all are weird.
Damien, do you want
it's
to do the next
very
one?
Weird. Very,
Do you want
very
to do?
weird.
Do you want to do the real sad one that's up next?
Yeah, make the guy who can't take anything serious talk about the public lynchings in Hummel Park.
Oh,
Really?
So let me put on my spooky face here, my serious face. So on our episode, I do believe we kind of hinted at a lot of the trees in Hummel tend to grow like sideways. They're kind of at an angle,
Like
and
over the roads, very
Yeah.
specifically over the roads.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, yes.
Yeah. So it's been said that in the early 1900s, a large number of Black Omaha natives were lynched from these trees, and the trees are thought to retain the memory of these gruesome murders, still bowing under the weight of victims' souls.
I
So
believe that.
Wow.
that is something that actually happened. That's like one of the real histories of Hummel Park, and that's one of those things where you drive through it and you see that you're like, oh, all right, this is not a great part of Omaha history here.
That is very sad.
And they all lean the same direction, so it's not like, you know what I'm saying, where it seems like it would ring so true, because maybe if they were naturally bent, some would go one way, but they're all bent in towards the road, which obviously that way everybody could see them, you know, as an example.
So, like on both sides of the road?
So it
it's
makes like a
kinda
canopy.
Okay.
Which also makes it very creepy to drive into, especially like
Yeah.
post fall when all the leaves are like falling off and it's just like
Yes.
creepy branches in the wind.
But like, I know, Christian, you really don't believe in this stuff, but do you feel any type of energy shift when you're in that area?
I don't know if it's from like the stories where it's like in the back of my mind, but yeah, like it is like spook. Like I wouldn't necessarily go there at night per se, just because it's also, again, we'll get into the crime aspect of it, but yeah, it's definitely is an eerie feeling when you do go there, especially like during the day. Not at all. Like it's great for hiking.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's very, especially in the
Sounds
fall.
beautiful.
It's gorgeous in the fall when the leaves are changing. Like it's just a good forest. But yeah, when the sun goes down, it definitely is a very major change, like a shift in energy.
Yeah. It just feels heavier when you're there at night. I've had a couple experiences there at night where it's just like, ooh, this is unsettling. But one of the other grains of salt or caveats to take into consideration with everything that we're talking about is Omaha wasn't known for its record keeping in the 1900s. So there's not going to be a whole lot of like, oh, there's proven documents for things like this. It just wasn't really something that they were great at back in the day. So a lot of this stuff is word of mouth lore. But what they can prove has been proven already. So take that with a grain of salt, you know?
All right. Do you want me to talk about the staircase, Damien?
Yeah. This one.
So we definitely alluded to this one in when you guys were on our podcast. So it's the staircase to hell, instead of, you know, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Staircase to Hell. And I actually knew this one a bit more. And we also talked, I think, a little bit on our podcast about it. So like Hummel Park has all this stuff around it. But also like it's a day camp for children in the summer that I went to like every year. Like it's a very, I don't know if it's free, but very affordable for like Omaha public school kids of like, hey, let's go have them be like in nature for like a week. We're going to count that good. So like each school gets to go during the summer for like a week. And so like some of these tales, I think kind of what Damien was talking about, like the folklore of it is because so many kids from Omaha went to this camp. Damien, I don't know if you did.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I did not.
And so this is definitely one of the ones I knew I was very familiar with from going to the camp so much. So like kind of legend behind it is, so Damien kind of alluded to, like the park was first created like in the 30s during the Great Depression. And so during that, historically there's the whole the New Deal thing where they're like, hey, everyone's poor, government, let's just start building shit to pay people. And so back then they made Hummel Park like actually a really nice park. They got all this like natural stone from nearby and made like picnic shelters and other things. And part of that, going back to the hills, was they built a stone staircase. So a staircase made from these stones that go up. And it originally was 188 steps. And so why it's called now the staircase to hell is you going up, you can count one number, and if you go down, you'll count a different number of stairs, and it changes all the time. And so they say, oh, it's the force playing tricks on you trying to do it. But in reality, I'm going to do my man of science thing right off the bat, is because the stairs are 100 years old. They're broken to shit. So some stairs don't exist and some do exist, depending on what part you step on. You might step on a stair and break it, and that's why you have a different number.
But one of my favorite lores about that, and why it's called the staircase to hell, is if you ever do count the same amount of steps down as up, it means you're going to die. Your death is imminent if you count the same number of stairs. So when you're walking through Hummel and you take those stairs, your fingers are crossed that you don't count them the same.
I'm not going on those stairs. I can tell you that right now.
Just miscount on purpose.
It's an accident waiting to happen is what I'm hearing.
This is not ADA compliant, dude.
With my track record, I'd be counting the same amount guaranteed. So I'm just going to bypass that altogether. Thanks.
Yeah. I also did not know this one, Damien. I knew the up and down that you meet, but it says if you are to count 188 on the way down correctly, the devil will appear at the bottom of the stair and take your soul.
I did not know that.
I didn't know to hear that. That was just some of the research that we found out.
Luckily, I can't count that high, so I don't have to worry.
Are there any records of anybody dying on the stairs? Like, has anybody fallen to their death or something?
There's had to be one, right? Like, or someone had a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, yeah, as a kid, you hear that and, like, you try to count. And then, like Damien said, you can't count that high or you lose count. Because you see a squirrel.
Have you guys done it?
I've taken the stairs. I've not been able to count the same amount.
Yeah, same. And, like, Damien, I haven't been, and I need to. Next time you're in Omaha, Damien, we'll go check it out.
We'll do an episode from Hummel Park.
From Hummel Park.
Yeah.
We'll join you.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
Ooh, that would be fun. If you do come to Omaha. Me and Damien are just recruiting people to come to. He had like 2 friends from LA who were like, we want to come to Omaha now. And they did. And they had a great time.
Awesome.
Let it be known that I am doing more for Omaha tourism than the Omaha politicians.
So why did you leave?
Listen to our podcast.
Shameless plug here.
Specific episode, please. We can.
Yeah.
plug that for you.
Probably the first episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Romanticizing cockroach living.
Yeah, romanticizing cockroach living is probably
also, we didn't explain
#1.
to their people their listeners what our podcast is about at all.
Let me try to answer your question while talking about what the podcast is. So your question is, since I made the joke of I'm doing more for Omaha tourism than the government is, and you were like, well, then why did you leave? The reason I left is because living and growing up in Omaha is not the same as going and visiting the main attractions of Omaha. Also, the main attractions of Omaha nowadays have significantly increased since I've left.
Yeah.
So, the weather is not my favorite. I don't like the snow. I don't like the ice. I don't like -degree weather. And I've just I grew up very, I like to call it unwealthy. And so because of that, I never thought that I'd ever leave Omaha, even just to visit places. Like, I didn't leave Omaha until I was 18, like at all, really. And so I grew up with this narrative that Omaha was the only place that I was ever going to be. And that made me really sad. And then me and my wife got together and I started traveling a lot with her. And then I caught the bug and I was like, there's no fucking way that I'm staying in Omaha my whole life. And so that's kind of the the whole thing and the whole theme behind the podcast is it better to stay in your hometown and kind of be the local legend and have all the lore and all the history, and that didn't used to be a Walmart, that used to be a this, that used to be is that better, or is it better to go out and experience life other places? How did I do?
You did pretty
That was
good.
excellent.
You missed the or you go or you're me. So remain, of course, stay, roam, what Damien, and then return. So I'm a returner. So me and Damien are both from Omaha. That's why we have not stopped talking about it since we've been on this spot. But I was kind of the opposite of Damien growing up, where I was like, I'm leaving and never looking back. And I did leave and went throughout mostly the Midwest, but throughout the states, and then came back to the like Omaha. I'm in Lincoln now, which is pretty much Omaha at this point. And so I'm glad I left, but now it's nice to be back. And so that's kind of a huge part of the podcast. So yeah, me and Damien do our podcast very remotely. I'm back in Nebraska and Damien's out in LA. And so kind of, it's very loosely our podcast at this point. But,
yeah, we like to bring people like yourselves on, or anybody else that we find interesting, to talk about that. It's a fun way to, well, where did you grow up? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? It's an easy conversation starter, and then you can get into like, well, what are you doing now? What do you do for a living? What do you blah blah blah? So it's a fun way to meet people, and I think it's a easy barrier of entry of conversation.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and also explains, we also found out like your hometown influences your interest and other things so much. Of like, I think we talked about like a little bit in your guys' episode of like, of your hometowns did affect like why you're even doing this podcast. Like Montana talked about her experience with the supernatural at 16 and how that now you guys do spooky things. Spooky.
Yeah. Well, Damien, I get the travel bug is addicting. I totally get that. I always tell myself I'm Johnny Cash because I've been everywhere, but I have not been to Omaha, so I would like to come visit.
It's honestly, it's great for about 5 days. If you're just looking for a quick 5-day trip, it's perfect.
Or even a long weekend. Long weekend, you could really fit. Long weekend. Also, when Damien brought his friends to Omaha, was also the perfect time because it was fall in the Midwest. And as you ladies are from Ohio, fall in the Midwest just hits different than anywhere else.
It does.
Absolutely. Best time of year.
Yeah. I guess, do you guys, are pumpkin patches big in Ohio?
Yeah, they definitely are.
Okay.
But is it like a bunch of pumpkins in a Walmart parking lot?
We have that, but
We
actually have designated places that only around in the fall that you can do like the pumpkin patch stuff, the mazes, like the rides and stuff. What's the term?
Like a theme park kind of?
No, it's like the big wooded, I can't even think of the word right now, mom brain. But they do a lot of
like fall festivals.
Yeah. But the things you ride in.
Hayrack ride?
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, Hayrack ride. Yeah.
They do a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah, those are
and
fun.
Haunted houses are huge here.
Yeah.
Just
same here in the Midwest.
Yeah, any old building, they're gonna try to do something like that in it around Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I went on a tour. I went on a ghost tour around my town I live in now, and it was terrible because they would just be like, they would point to a building, and he specifically was like, a woman in white is said to be seen in this window, and then he kept on going. Like there was no
the end.
No history behind it.
No.
Does she live there? I mean,
is she alive?
She's just the homeowner.
I told you to quit coming by my house with this goddamn tour.
I'm alive and well. My name is Bernice.
Look up and she's giving you the finger.
I saw your mom at a Burger King in 1982 and haven't seen her since.
And my son does not have a wonky leg. It's just a little shorter.
Guess would be loving this if we had hit record.
Yeah, there's a lot of callbacks.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Anyways, that was a long way around for a shameless plug. Sorry to derail.
Not at all.
We're all about the shameless plugs around here. All about it.
Where did we leave off? I think the staircase is where we left off, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know about this, the Devil's Slide, Christian? I've never heard this before.
Yeah, it's part of the camp folklore.
Okay, because you went to the camp, I didn't, so that's probably why I don't know. What is it? I don't know what that is.
So it's kind of like going back to so it's the hills, and the hills look over the Missouri River. So again, going back to like a really pretty place to be at during the fall. And so the hills look over, but because of it, Midwest being just super windy all the time, it started to erode, and so it's just kind of like a bare face area now. And so instead of being nice gradual hill, it's just like a steep drop off because it's been eroded so much.
Why they call it the Devil Slide?
So because it's such a deep cliff of an area, a lot of people have unalived themselves there.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and so it's said to when the wind blows. At least it's camp folklore. Also, why are they telling us about this as a 10-year-old? Maybe I heard this part later about.
Got to keep coming back.
The devil whispers in the wind to tell you to jump.
Are you guys millennials?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, it's the 90s, man. You can do it.
You can do whatever you want. That's actually cool. I didn't realize that was a thing. So that's interesting to learn. The Devil Whispers in the Wind. New band name, I call it.
Devil's Whispers in the Wind.
It's another long name, but apparently that's what we're fond of.
Yeah, and then there's another. It didn't come in the research, and now I'm just kind of remembering it. They call it the Lover's Leap as well, where like a Romeo and Juliet situation where their parents said they couldn't be together, and so that one they for sure told at the camp about the Lover's Leap of. Oh, and he did it on a motorcycle.
That's cool. That's badass.
I don't know how he got a motorcycle up this hill, but like fucking Meatloaf Bat Out of the Hell cover of just jumping a motorcycle.
Rest in peace.
And crashing.
Rest in peace.
Do
Meatloaf.
anything for love.
But I won't do that.
He will not take his motorcycle to Omaha, Nebraska and go off Devil Slide.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, and I guess another reason they call it Devil Slide is, again, going back to the erosion, it's if you get too close, it will crumble under your feet, and so you'll slide into hell. A lot of devil and hell aspects of this part.
Yeah.
Well I can't. You go. Actually,
it does lead perfectly. Actually,
that is a great segue.
That's a great segue. Actually,
very accidental.
A lot of Satan and stuff like that. And one of the biggest lores of Hummel Park is the satanic cults and all of the occult style stuff that supposedly happens there. So we talked about this in our episode, the albinos. That's a fun one. It's never been proven that a cabal of albinos live there, but it's really fun to think about. One of the things that is less talked about is actually the religious cult that was founded there. I believe it's called the Intercessors of the Lamb. I believe is what it's called.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they're like an offshoot of Catholicism, but their nuns dress in teal instead of black. And it's not like a doomsday type of cult, but it is if you come into our cult and you pay the admittance fee, you'll have eternal life type of a thing. So it's not necessarily the cults that you think about usually, but they do have a religious cult over there, and I can give you a little bit of backstory about that.
See, I didn't know this one at all. This was all Dave. It's also interesting. There's houses not in Hummel Park, but just outside it. So I wonder, be interesting.
So they bought those houses.
Okay, they bought. Okay,
yeah. So they bought those houses in that area, and in order to go tax exempt for their new religion. So the Intercessors of the Lamb is a Catholic offshoot group in Omaha based at the Bellwether Contemplative Formation Center. It was actually suppressed by the Archbishop in 2010 due to very, let's just say, behavioral issues by the leadership.
Imagine.
Yes, I could only imagine. But it was founded by Mother Nadine Brown. And the group has multiple accusations of operating like a cult, with reports of intense control, and then of people's finances, of people's decisions that they make, stuff like that. And then ultimately it led to a chaotic departure from their compound. So I think they got kicked out of that area in the like late 2010s. So very, very interesting, because we always heard about cults. We always assumed it was like satanic cults, but it actually turns out that it was an offshoot of Catholicism, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. And kind of going back to, like I was talking about, like back in the 30s, they actually, like, the park was super nice when it was first built, and they built all these really nice like picnic areas and, like, I want to call it a lodge, but like a really nice big like covered picnic area with like a stone fireplace and all this cool stuff. And it probably like was just like teenage kids would go and like spray like pentagrams and like stuff like that, so that added to it a bit. And like we'll get into it with like the true crime, but like, Damien, do you remember like growing up people talking about like how like Hell's Angels would just like hang out there and stuff like that?
Yeah, I never knew what that meant though. I was stupid.
Same here. I was like, ooh. But going back to the hell though, I was like, hell's in the name. I'm not going to be part of that.
I was like, Hell's Angels, isn't that just demons? I didn't realize they were just like a motorcycle gang.
Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, so that's a little bit of the occult stuff that happened there. That's one of the provable ones. But again, you know, it's been theorized that albinos live there. Nobody's ever seen them, but they haunt you at night. And then what was the other?
Why albinos?
I don't know.
Because they look like ghosts?
Yeah, they look like ghosts, and they have red eyes, apparently, is what people say.
Yeah, they do. Have you ever seen like albino like rat or any albino animal?
An alligator. They're creepy.
Yes.
Shout out back to the Omaha Zoo. I think they still have an albino alligator.
I think so. I think you're
right. In the swamp part of the Kingdom of the Knights. Visit omaha.com.
Yeah. But the last thing about the occult rituals that I found were that it's also noted that at night, people often hear the sounds of drums in the park with no visible sources. There are also stories of, like Christian said, a hidden lodge somewhere deep in the woods where gatherings take place, none of which have ever been founded. Like, they say that there's a hidden lodge, but nobody can find it. So all of that is kind of a little mythology of the occult, but it is interesting that there was actual cult activity there.
Yeah.
So
it's probably a nudist compound that they can't find the lodge.
True.
There's a place like that allegedly around where my grandmother lives, down around Athens, and nobody's ever been able to find the lodge.
You know what it is?
Your grandma knows.
Your grandma
She probably goes down there on the weekends.
Real freaky.
Can you know imagine it's like a nudist colony in the Midwest just shriveled everything?
That's what it is, though. It's a nudist colony in the hidden lodge, and it is the albinos. They live underground. That's what it is. I think we're solving it.
Okay, there.
See, we always solve it.
The mascot is the alligator from the zoo.
Yeah,
who does live underground?
See?
Which
we just
I never thought, Damien, of putting it this way. He just lives in a basement.
True. Yeah.
That
is
a really, really nice basement.
That's funny.
Damien, I forgot to write this one down, but another one that we learned from the camp is, so there's his, just referred to as the Hermit. This is
I forgot about that.
So the backstory about this was, I think it was really just a wear your seatbelt PSA that they just made a really big folklore story about. So guy was driving, was in a car accident, busted through the windshield and like cut his nose off like Voldemort style, going back to millennial stuff. So just like no nose. Wow. And so like he couldn't, like after that, like anywhere he would go, he would get pointed at, made fun of, laughed at, all that. So what he did was like he went to Hummel Park, and like that's just where he lives, like off the land. And so again, this seems very rude now thinking back now as not like child, but like you would walk through the woods and there would be like little, like, you know, sometimes when you're walking through it, kids will make like little like teepees out of like sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And our camp counselor would be like, that's where the hermit lives. You better stay on the path. Like, a grown man does not live in that. He probably has a tent somewhere in here. But yeah, so that's also a myth, is like you can like, you'll see him running through the woods during the day kind of thing.
Did this story actually happen though? That he went through the windshield?
I don't know. Yeah, I probably should have done some research on that one, but I just remembered it. But I feel like it was very much around like the time when like wearing your seatbelt became law, and so maybe it was just a.
That's fair.
But I do think that one was like pre-seatbelt kind of things, and so yeah, the Hermit of Hummel Park
With no nose.
With no nose.
No, Voldemort style. I wonder if he'd be more accepted now, or you could probably get like a fake nose now, or like those what are they called, the Groucho glasses, where
Yeah,
it's like the
Groucho
fake nose.
Mustache and everything.
Before that, apparently he couldn't just be wearing a Groucho mask.
Hummel Park is now haunted by Mr. Potato Head.
He just changes it out.
He's just
Angry.
streaking through during the day.
I brought my angry eyes just for the kids.
Yeah. And I think there are some more folklore that I'm just not remembering or that didn't come up in our research. Damien, should we get into the true crime aspect?
Yeah, if that's the direction we're going. I think that's the end of all of the like non-provable shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if they're trying to rack my like 10-year-old brain.
Those are all the ones I've heard of.
Yeah, I think that's the one where the path changes or the trees change on you.
Yeah, that one I kind of put in the same category as a changing staircase. Kind of. That did actually happen to me as well. We went for to go like view the stars. You can do like a star walk with like a guided tour. We went with me, my family, and actually Keegan and Indigo, Christian, and we took the tour on a guided little tour. Blah blah blah. We get to the end, and of course, in usual Midwest fashion, when you get to like look at the stars, they're like, "Okay, time to go back," and you're like, "I haven't even looked at it. We got here, and then we're turning around." So we were like, "Let's just let them go back. We'll stay and we'll look at the stars for a little bit." So we stayed for 15, 20 minutes to look at the stars, and then we turn around to go back the same exact trail that we took, and we could not get back to where we started. We probably were wandering around for an hour in the middle of the night, cannot find our cars. So eventually we were like, all right, I feel like we're just walking in circles. So I went up the bluff, all the way up to the bluff, so I could see, because Midwesterners, if it's not a flat line, you can't see anything. So I went up to the top of the mountain. I was like, oh, our car is just right over there. And then we were able to get out. But it does showcase, like, if you do not have that high vantage point, you really cannot find your way out of those woods.
So you were that close to your car and you couldn't find it. That's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, because it was too high up. So we were just walking in circles.
Yeah. I would say Hummel Park it's because it's not a natural forest, it's a man-made forest. It is very densely, like the trees are so close so you can't see through anything.
Yeah.
And so it gets very dark very quickly in there too.
That actually sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. We really should, all four of us, do an Omaha Hummel Park episode where we record from there. Maybe we could find the hidden cabin and do it from there.
Yeah.
The nudist lodge.
Yeah.
That's like, which one? The nudist one?
All right, albinos, we're just going to record real quick and we'll be out of your white hair.
Say cheese.
Yeah.
Famanda cheese. No,
So yeah, that's all of the mythology behind Hummel Park. So you can understand why it's scary for that reason at night. But then you think about what actually has occurred there, the actual crimes and stuff that has happened there, not just with like the lynchings and stuff like that. But 1983 was, the real first documented properly issue that happened. A woman named Laura Lapointe was sexually assaulted and robbed by 4 other women and then beaten to death with a 6-foot tree limb and a softball bat. Her body was found in a roadside ditch in a heavily wooden section of the park. Paranormal investigators who have conducted EVP sessions
spooky meter.
In the park, yes, the spooky meter.
Spooky meter.
They believe the unexplained screams and cries heard by visitors may be connected to her.
Interesting.
So that was 1983.
That's a brutal way to go. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's a horrible
And
way
by
to
other
go.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess our notes left out is they were all sex workers. I'm not sure if that's but I guess there had been like issues within the sex worker community. That seems like a weird way to phrase that, but
Yeah. Thanks for the addition.
The ladies of the night.
Yeah. This is my albino turf.
Yes. Yeah, a more recent one that has a little bit of connection to me very loosely was so back in 2005, and I remember this a little bit. This girl named Amber Harris, she was 12 years old, so she went to the same middle school. She was a year below me in the same middle school. But at this point, I was in high school and she was in 8th grade. But so like fall 2005, she gets on the school bus to go home, never makes it home, and then they can't find her. So like it was a huge news in Omaha. I'm not sure if you remember, Damien, but like,
oh yeah, it was all of the talk.
Yeah, and so they kept searching for her, and like nothing was able to be found. And then like the spring of the next year, they were able to find her backpack was at a boarder's house. So like this landlord that had this house that was like a boarding house, and everyone got evicted, and he was like cleaning through the backpack. Well, he found her backpack and found her clothes with blood on them. And
where were they located? The backpack?
The backpack was in this boarding house.
Okay.
It will tie into Hummel Park.
A mile and a half from where she was last seen.
Yeah.
Is where they found it.
Yeah.
So
from
she made a mile and a half.
Yeah. And this boarding house was on her way to her home. So the last they ever saw her was her like footage from the like public, like the bus, her school bus, of her getting off the bus. So like, they're like, okay, yeah, she got off the bus. And so what had happened was a man who was living at the border house, his name was Roy Ellis, was already convicted of SA. I'm not sure how much on your podcast you say things, so I'll just say SA of a child. And so of course becomes witness number one, or not witness, but suspect number one. Yep. Do DNA testing, and he, of course, his DNA is all over her stuff with the blood. But claims his innocence still to this day. Well, in May of that year, so a few later, someone's walking through Hummel Park and finds a shallow grave, and it is Amber Harris's grave.
Oh.
And so they found her body in Hummel Park, and were able to. According to the notes, a cross necklace of hers was still clung to her remains. And so Roy Ellis was convicted of SA and her murder, and is currently serving a life sentence.
Sentenced to death, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it was the Nebraska didn't have the death penalty. Then we brought it back and then got rid of it, and now I think we have it back.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
it was such a high-profile case that some paranormal investigators that you all probably have heard of as Prism. I don't know if you've heard of that paranormal. Okay, they're a paranormal group that's fairly popular. They investigated the murder and collected all like the notes and everything like that, and it was actually discussed on America's Most Wanted. So it was like a very, very high-profile case. Mm-hmm. It was a big talking point in Omaha for a very long time. And then another one is from 1998. Teenager named Scott Addison survived an attack after being lured into the park. He was beaten and stabbed, and in a detail that sounds almost too cinematic to be real, he wrote the names of his attackers on his car in his own blood before finding help. So he knew his attackers escaped, and in case he didn't survive, wrote the names on his car just in case.
That's really smart.
Yeah. So that's some of the real shit that went down in that area.
Yeah, and in my research, they know there's more bodies there. They just haven't been able to find them. And I think a lot of things, what would happen is, of course, Omaha had the mob back in the day, where they think more bodies are buried there, or people were like murdered there. And the park's also right next to the like Missouri River, which eventually leads into the Mississippi and goes. So they think a lot of like they've been able to find weapons like ditched into the river there as well. And so
it sounds like a great place to take people and like execute them
Yeah.
with silencers and whatnot, and then dump their body wherever.
So yeah,
Very
yeah,
easy
kind of
to
like
do.
what I was saying like earlier of like true crime turning into spookiness of adding to it. So
Yeah, the forest is so dense. I mean, you wouldn't even really have to worry about. You could just go anywhere, and I don't know. I don't think anybody would stumble into you.
Yeah, and that probably muffles sound like crazy too.
yeah,
That would
And
be a really scary place to be chased by someone.
Yeah, oh my
gosh.
God, yeah.
Ugh.
But a great acoustic setting for a podcast.
yeah,
If you can hear me, pull my finger.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's kind of the thing with Hummel Park, where it's like it's not just scary because of one particular thing. It's just like a litany of things that have taken place. But
Do you want to talk about because of also with me and Damien doing our research? Look, we have a shared Google Doc from because of all the spookiness. It has had a lot of different paranormal investigators like come to the park specifically because it's known for being.
like Prism was there.
Yeah, Prism's
Has
been
Zach
there.
Baggins been there?
I don't
know, actually. That's a
I
good
don't
question.
think he has.
Surprising.
I know.
Because I have. Is he? I think I don't call him the spooky bro. Is he the one who's more over the top with all the stuff?
Yeah.
That's what you
He's
want to
the-
say.
He's the one.
Such a nice way to put it.
He's the one on TV.
Where I think maybe that's also part of my thing is like, I'm gonna do as me and Damien say. We're gonna take it off course or do a segue into something completely different. We'll come back to this, but
Side quest.
side quest. Yes, that's very is. I thought about this, so I was curious about around the neighborhood I live in. And I swear this will all tie back eventually. So kind of by where I live, there used to be a lake. It was called the Lake Street Lake. It was a lake on lakes. The street's called Lake Street because there's a lake there. But back in, there used to be it's now an empty lake because it's in the middle of town.
What came first, the lake or the street?
Probably the
You've been
lake,
asking
I
that for
think.
years.
I think the lake, because it was probably farmland that got turned. But it used to be known for like
There's that man of science answer.
man of science, exactly. But there was it used to be like an ice skating pond, but there's a legend that, and then the middle of the pond, I wouldn't call it a lake. It's more of a pond. But Pond Street doesn't sound as good, right? There's an island with a tree on it. But the story is that a boy was stabbed and bled out on that island and couldn't get help. And so now there's people now will like look out there because it's now a park and like houses surround it because it's houses have been there for like 100 years now. But like people will look out and see a little boy on the island at night. And so, and I run past this park all the time and never had any spooky thoughts near at all. But I watched some like local spooky investigators go to it and kind of go into like you were talking about the douchebag guy who's over the top. But like when they're like, oh my God, this place feels so eerie. And then there's just like a kid on the bike, just kids playing in the park. And it's just like, and I think
the spooky part is they're not real.
No, this kid is like very much in the like 2000s. He's bumping like Soldier Boy or something in the back.
God.
But, you. I didn't know the Ghost was a Soldier Boy fan.
No, it's Boo.
Oh,
Line read.
But I think for me, with some of the stuff is maybe because the introduction is the Zach guy, where it's just like too over the top for me. Where like it's just not for me because of like. And again, he's probably putting a bad name. No, not everyone who has, the spooky meters is like that. But he's like, it ticked a little. And it's like,
You gotta make it interesting.
It's just the two. And so maybe that's what takes me some out of the spooky stuff is that. So that's taking it all full around. But
Yeah, it's always annoying when people get to be too much with that stuff. It just makes it that much less believable, in my opinion.
Isn't it
that.
so annoying when people take things off course? It's so annoying.
Like every episode we ever do.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Same here.
yes, exactly. That one actually was
Very
much better
normal.
than most of the ones on ours. This one actually led back to what we were
Yeah, you
talking
actually
about.
didn't stumble too much. That was impressive. I'll give you credit.
But I think with the ghosts, when they like for Zach Bagans, whatever the fuck his name is, when they do the recordings of the ghost saying something and they go back and they play it, sometimes I don't think it's what they really said. I think they're just like adding to it to make it more spooky. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like why is it in Zach's voice? You can only distort
like-
your voice so much.
Yeah, that I don't know if I believe because I'm like, that's not what I heard at all. It said, and I don't know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ghost is like, help, and they're like, he said I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, like they did the Lizzie Borden house, which I really want to do one day, stay the night there. I don't know about you guys.
That'd be
Or
awesome.
if you've ever been there.
That sounds like a very expensive Airbnb to me.
But you can do a whole ghost hunt.
That'd be fun.
This is more Damien's alley, I think,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, that'd be a really good time. I like that stuff.
Do you ever watch the show?
What show?
What is he on? Ghost Adventures?
Yeah, Ghost Adventures. I think I was trying to think of the name, but it's like the famous one on TV, right? The Zach one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just refer to him as the spooky bro.
Yeah, I had
I mean,
an
he
ex.
kinda
who was-
is.
Spooky bro with the spooky meter.
Yeah, yeah.
It works.
Yep,
Because
I've seen
I
it.
also think another aspect of it was that. So I've been to like St. Augustine, Florida, which is supposed to be one of the spookiest places I've been told, at least. And there's an old Spanish fort, and like I was like, oh, cool. I want to watch the episode where he goes to there because like I've been there. It's also cool to like see places you've been on TV,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, oh man, the readings in this place are going off. I was like, I remember being there. It was not scary.
Did you go to the jail? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was cool. I was like 12 or like a
Oh,
little
okay.
younger. We were visiting. We had family who lived in Florida, and so like that's why we were there. And like went to like the Spanish fort, which is supposed to have like all this spooky history. But like I also just like history. I think I like spookiness from that like history standpoint, but not necessarily the spooky part of it. I do
Mhm.
like the history part of it though.
And I'm the opposite. I don't give a shit about the history.
I don't either.
We were just
I was
having this
there
conversation.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful city though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. It's like America's oldest city. And
Older than New Orleans?
I think so. It was one of the first places, like the Spanish, because it was founded by the Spanish, or not founded.
So was
but
New Orleans.
That's true.
Yeah,
I would
we
I would
were-
like to test that theory. I think New Orleans is older.
I think this place is older.
All right.
St. Augustine.
There's no
I
way to
think is
find
the
out.
oldest.
So
Keep us posted.
Yeah.
there's no way to find out.
Montana
the
agrees
answer
with
to this.
me.
It is the
Well.
oldest.
See,
It is the oldest.
that's like your opinion, man.
That's just your liberal fucking search thing. That's all it is.
You're making me mad enough. I'm about to actually search it.
I was at a campsite there because I'm cheap and we like to camp. And then the Beach Boys were actually playing across the street and we could hear them.
That's
from
fucking awesome,
Our campsite.
If you didn't know, Damien is in the Beach Boys.
He is or is it?
He is. That is also a terrible ongoing joke of our podcast. If you want top quality content like that, please listen to Remain.
Awful. Just awful.
Yeah. Damien, do
And
you
on
have
that
anything
note-
else?
Yeah. it's like-
Do you
Well,
have anything more
thanks
about
for
Hummel
end-
Park?
Thanks for ending it on that. No, I just know there's a tour, a specific like haunted tour that usually goes through there. I can't remember the lady's name, but she's like very notorious for her tour. Notorious in Omaha.
Yes.
And she has claimed that there's every once in a while there's a figure, it's like 8 feet tall with yellow eyes that like haunts them. And she's like, I'm not just making this up for the tour. Like multiple tours, you can ask people. They've been on it, they've seen it. So I think that's pretty cool too, where it's like, no, there's some weird shit that happens there, whether it's, the whole group is susceptible at the same time, or whether it's really happening, I think is the case. But it's fun. It's fun to think about.
Does your state have a cryptid?
Oh, that's
Oh.
a good question. The woodchuck.
I don't think we do. Maybe
The albino.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if they're like.
Does Nebraska have a cryptid? That's a good
Every
question. I've
state
never
has
even
to
thought
have
about
one. All right, you guys look it up.
that. Yeah, I'm
gonna
looking it
look
up right now.
Yeah.
You have to have one.
Nebraska cryptid. The Walgren Lake Monster. A 40 to 100 foot long horned alligator like creature reported in the 1920s near Hay Springs. Also, there's a notable Nebraska legend That includes the Oakland creature, clever name, a 6-foot bear monkey hybrid. Huh. Yeah, the Walgren Lake Monster is the number one cryptid. This creature in Sheridan County was described as having a horn, scales, and a putrid smell, and being capable of eating livestock. It was described as a mix between fish, alligator, and rhino.
Wow.
Man, what kind of drugs were there in the 1920s? That sounds awesome.
Science project gone wrong.
Yeah. I also on the list, like I just pulled up, was the cannibal albinos of Hummel Park.
There it is.
Throwing in cannibal though, that is something we did not add. Of course, everything has to have a cannibal.
Of course.
It would also be interesting. There's probably some, because of course, with Nebraska being in the plains, some like Native American folklore where I've heard, like the deer woman. I've heard with about Native tribes here. If you've heard that cryptid before, that's a pretty big.
What does she look like?
She appears to be like a beautiful woman with antlers, and then I want to look this up, or else I'm going to completely butcher it. So, let's see. Known for having the upper body of a beautiful woman and lower legs and hooves of a deer, often considered a protective, sometimes vengeful entity. She represents fertility, love, and justice for women and children. She is known for being shape-shifting between human and deer. She can entrance men and sometimes brings death or madness to those she targets. And so,
like a siren.
Yeah, a little bit of, but yeah, known for the Cherokee, Choctaw, Muskogee, Ponca, and Sioux tribes. Kind of all share that story. But I've heard that one before within Nebraska context. Pretty cool one.
Yeah.
There has also been scattered reports of Bigfoot in Nebraska.
I wouldn't doubt it.
There's everywhere.
Yeah, every out west. I would like the closer you get to the Rocky Mountains.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I think I'm more into cryptids. Are cryptids technically spooky? I guess so.
Definitely.
Like,
it's definitely in the genre.
I think Bigfoot's more believable for sure. I think it's because that one's more for me more science fiction than spooky at the same time. Like,
I feel like why wouldn't there have been something like that at some point? Whether it's still real, I don't know, but I definitely think something like that is very plausible.
Oh yeah, that one is. I feel very, and like other cryptids like the chupacabra, like that one that seems plausible. Or are cryptids just aliens?
Or are we the
Do you believe in aliens?
I feel like I'm about to get like the Obama-esque answer. Do I believe in aliens?
Hey, that's how we're going to trend. Do it. He's releasing redacted files.
The universe is way too big, and like space is kind of terrifying. You know, as a man of science.
As a man of science.
It's just like
you can't even breathe out there, bro.
Dude, like what? You know, man, when you're out on the way. Sorry, that's. Me and Damien need to quit doing our own bits on someone else's podcast. I think it's just because we're on Riverside. We're on a podcast. We're like
feels like home.
Feels like home. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just way too big to know. Like there has to be something else out there because there's universes on black holes on like it's infinite out there. There's very plausible to have some other form of life out there.
Yeah, we always talk about how space and oceans scare the shit out of us on our podcast all the time. It's too big.
You'll have thalassophobia.
What's that?
It's the fear of open water.
Like big open water.
It's not that bad, but I will not go in open water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to be. My feet still have to be touching the ground in the water. I don't like.
I can't even do that anymore.
Floating. Yeah.
After one of the last times I was in the ocean, I could have sworn I stepped on an arm, and I've never been in one since. Like, nope, I'm done. It was probably just like an old stick or something that felt slimy, but to me, it was like an arm.
It was a bone.
Yes, it was a bone. I'm done. I'll watch from a distance. Thank you.
Yeah, no, the ocean is just it's so, and it's unexplored, right? And
very much,
and it's
explored. Yeah.
Very like it's still here. And yeah. Because I was just Damien talking about last episode. I'm trying to think where the point is, but there's a buoy in like the most remote location of like the oceans. Like it's so far from everything else that like if you somehow are on this buoy, it's just like you could swim, you could be an Olympic swimmer and swim for 41 days and still not reach land, which is
Wow.
so just to add to your guys' fear of the water,
There's also really great documentaries about the Marianas Trench if you're ever interested in really getting scared. Not because of any kind of cryptid activity, but because just thinking about a crevice in the ocean that is deeper than Mount Everest is tall.
And things
Well, it's
probably
unexplored.
Yeah,
and
it's
things
unexplored.
dwell
It's pitch
there.
black. Exactly.
That's what's scary when you see some of the creatures that are down there and how they have evolved. It's so creepy.
Well, we don't have the technology to go that far down yet,
No.
right?
And I don't know how you build for that. I mean, there's just what structure can withstand that much pressure.
yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. I just watched something on that recently while I was deathly ill again for the 15th time in 2026. It's fucking
Good.
February.
Yeah.
I know,
take
it's
your
only
vitamins.
February.
Get your vitamins.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the Meg, right? Have you guys seen that movie?
Mm-hmm. That's
But it was a book.
Yeah. Oh.
It was a book, but the point was it was down. Well, you've seen it, right? So it was really low beneath the surface, and it went through that pocket and came up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's true or whatever, but like I have a fear of that,
Sure.
of just being in the middle of the ocean and then something coming up. And
What
Yeah.
do you mean it went in the pocket and then came up? What are you talking about? I don't think I
do you
know.
have a
what
better
you
way
mean.
to explain it? Because you've seen it.
What went in the pocket? What pocket? Whose pocket?
Like a pocket
albinos
of
are right.
water.
Hey man, if you don't wear pants, you don't get pockets.
But yeah, something coming up from the bottom without any kind of notice, and just like
Yeah.
it's crazy. And they get so
So-
much force when they do that too, where they come up.
Also, it
It's
was like it hit a
fucking
boat.
torpedo.
No, so basically in the movie, I never read the book, but they have technology where they go really, really deep into the ocean.
Oh, okay.
Like really deep. But because they could do it for like a certain amount of time because something opened up so they could go into that bottom of the ocean. But when they came back through, a big ass shark came back through.
It's
That
like
was
a-
down there.
Like a wormhole.
Oh.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like a prehistoric type shark.
Oh.
So like,
Megalodon.
yeah, that's the word for it. Thank you.
It's short for
No, thank
Meg,
you.
short for the megalodon.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah, it's all making sense now. Okay. I've never
I
heard of
explained
this.
things so
When did this
well.
come out?
It's an older one.
Oh,
Not that still fairly recent.
That's only a
I would say
couple
the
years
la-
old.
I
Within
thought
the
it was
last
in,
decade,
like
for sure.
2020, right?
I love how you
Jason
think that's
Statham?
old.
It's not new.
Yeah, but it's not like Jaws old.
The second one's newer.
2018.
Okay,
I was close.
last decade. Yeah, it's okay. That actually sounds more interesting of a concept for a movie than it's just like it's a big shark who eats things.
By the way, I do want to point out Christian and I have fact-finded way more on this podcast than we've ever done in our entire life.
Yes.
Me
Well,
Googling things never
congratulations.
happens.
Even in school?
Oh, especially in school.
That far, Dave.
so when we were on your podcast, you wrote a script or with questions, and
Yes.
now that you're on ours, you did research. Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Look at
very
that.
special over here.
We're
You
evolving.
guys should.
Well, thank
do.
you. You do.
Well, the
So do you guys
pressure's on
believe
with
in,
how
like-
many views you get.
Do you believe in like merfolk though? Before we move on from the ocean thing, like, do you think they're mer people?
Christian, I'll let you go first because this is actually a very recent topic for me.
Oh, really?
I like the idea of mer people. I don't think they do exist, but I love like I do love the fantasy aspect. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know I joke about being a man of science and all that stuff, but also like I like believing in fairies. Like, not a Throne of Glass fairies. If you read those books, like my
Mhm.
wife does, not the fairy smut as I call it, but like that whimsical, like mischievous fairies and like that kind of old folklore and that kind
Like the
of
more
stuff.
Norway, Finland, type
Yeah,
of
like
fairies, right?
Celtic fairies and
I was
those
gonna say
types of-
Scotland has their own
Yeah.
kind of fairies too. Yeah.
like in our yard, which is really cool. We have like a fairy, like actually kind of a natural fairy ring with like the toadstools.
Yeah.
and we did
Aw.
research on that, so it's kind of and it fits the whimsicalness of my house. Wouldn't you agree, Damien? It's
Yeah.
very like
Wait, and so you want to believe, or you do, or you don't?
I
don't
do
know what
believe
you-
like I like the idea of it. Let's just say that.
So you want to believe?
Yes, I guess I want to believe.
Okay.
And so going back to like, the mer people, I like the idea of them.
Yeah,
I feel like if they did exist, they would not look anything like we would
Just
imagine.
about
Like
to
they're
say
probably
that.
terrifying.
They'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be.
Yes.
That is what I was going to say. I don't believe in like the mermaid or mermen situation, but if you know anything about the merman, but if you know anything about the lore and the history of sirens,
Yes.
which are essentially the evil version of mermaids. Now that shit I totally believe in. My wife and I we go on cruise vacations quite frequently. And one of the things that kind of what we talked about earlier with the ocean, it's so unexplored. There's so many things that you couldn't even explain. Even if you experienced it, you wouldn't be able to explain it. And one of the lores that we are obsessed with when we're on cruises is going out onto the deck at like 3 a.m. and just listening to see if you can hear anything. Because, you know, with sirens, they call out and they lure people to jump into the water. And I'm like, honestly, if you've seen the videos of how chaotic the ocean is, am I really going to sit here and be like, sirens never existed or they don't? I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I've heard the videos when people are like, this is proof that sirens exist. And you can hear like this high pitch, almost like hauntingly beautiful singing, but it's also terrifying. How do you explain that? So dolphins. I believe in sirens, but we know how dolphins sound.
I guess it's true.
It's not like melodic, you know, pitches. Jesus,
scared the shit out of me.
Wake up!
Who needs caffeine
melodic
when you
thing
have
I've
that?
heard.
Breaking that tension.
Your wife's a
Broke a
lucky
glass.
woman.
I apologize. I didn't mean to do it that loud.
right into the mic.
Breaking tension and glass at the same time. That's some talent.
Just like the sirens.
People listening that are driving are gonna crash.
Then I am a siren.
Don't lose your nose. Hope you're wearing your seatbelt. Oh, man.
All right. Well,
yes,
is there anything else that you can think of that you want to interject about this creepy park before we do our little closing segment?
No,
honestly, that is the most research I've ever done in history. So I think
Exhausted.
that's it for me.
Yeah.
It's a wrap, son.
Oh, I will give a shout out to also where like that kind of helped with our research, just because we'll do shout outs. A guy wrote, it's more not very like history, but more of telling stories within about like not touring like he has his own story, but mentions part of it. And so it's called The Legend of Hummel Park and Other Stories. And it's Jeremy Morong, I think it's how it's spelled. But shout out to this. Does talk about Devil Slide, morphing stairs, and albino colonies, crazy hermits, and hanging trees. So that was a little bit of the research. So kind of exactly what we talked about. So give some credit there.
Now every time I hear albino, my mind's going to go.
You'll be thinking of you guys at 3 a.m.
Thinking of you guys at 3 a.m. again. Well, before we go, would you like to let everybody know where they can find you, where you exist in this realm?
Yes, we are on. Everybody always says you can find us wherever you find. That's not true for us. We are a very specific. So we are on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. That's it. We are on.
To be fair, though, do people listen to podcasts on anything else?
I don't know.
Yeah, do they?
Like, are like some people
I
just
don't
like
know.
low key underground, like trying to find maybe like Amazon? Should we get on Amazon podcast?
Fuck Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean,
just
we're
said.
on there.
Yeah,
I don't know if we get views from it, so I can't say.
But you two are talented and have something to offer people. You know.
Oh, come on. You guys are.
So
If you would like more
Jessica is
dolphin
talented.
noises, we're on
Oh my God.
Instagram.
yes. So we're on those 3 listening platforms. We do have video on Spotify and YouTube, but Apple is only audio. We are most active on Instagram and YouTube. So if you're looking,
And Facebook for some reason.
well, just recently because I joined a bunch of podcasting Facebook groups, but
Does it help?
no,
Okay.
we don't have good enough quality stuff for anything to help. But
Oh.
yeah, so
That's not true.
that's where you'll find us. Instagram and YouTube is where we are most active. We do have an X account and Twitter accounts and stuff like that, but we don't utilize them because I hate those 2 social media platforms. And so, yeah, if you're looking to find us, it's very easy. You have about 3 options to find us.
And I think all of ours are Remain Rome Return Podcast at Remain Rome Return Podcast. Very short name, very easy to remember and type out without making mistakes.
And just as a little reminder of the type of guests you like to have on, in case anybody would be interested in reaching out and saying, hey, I'd like to be on your show. Want to give them just a little quick summary?
If you've ever lived anywhere, you can be on our show.
The end.
The end.
Especially underground.
Are you?
Especially underground or in a haunted park. No, actually, the spooky stuff is fairly new because of you all. But yeah, if you know, we've had all sorts of people on from the UK, from Romania, from Dubai, Wisconsin. I mean, you know, all over the place. So if you've ever traveled, we like to talk about Ohio. Yeah, if you've ever traveled, we like to talk about travel, but predominantly what we're going to ask you is, what was it like growing up in your hometown? Are you still there? And if yes, if no, why? And then we'll get into, we like to make jokes and fuck around a little bit. So anybody and everybody can come on. We just ask that you, you know, be semi-interesting. That's about it.
It's hard to do nowadays.
It is.
Be interesting?
Be interesting.
Be interesting.
You know.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on. This has been so fun. I'm sad that it's over. We'll have to do some more stuff in the future so we can get back together for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And Omaha Hummel Park episode, I think, should actually happen. That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
That would be. It sounds like a terrifying place, honestly.
I'm trying to get her to travel more. So
yeah, you and my sister both are like really pushing me. So it's probably going to happen soon.
Yeah, Omaha, Nebraska wouldn't be that different.
Yeah, that's true. It'd feel pretty similar to where we are now.
How far do you think because her issue right now is planes. So how far do you think,
the drive?
Weirdly enough, I just had a friend drive from Columbus to Omaha within the last few weeks. Sad reason why he had to, but he's a med resident at Ohio State. He's gonna be a doctor. You guys get a good doctor, but it took him 11 and a half hours
to drive.
Okay.
To drive, yeah.
Yep, you're gonna have to put my ass on a plane.
But you could do a stopover in Chicago. Chicago's on the way, and if you haven't been to Chicago, highly recommend it.
It's a place I really want to see. So that would be.
I can sell you on it this way too. If you do end up driving, you can plan pit stops to stop at haunted places along the way.
True.
I think you should
one way
fly.
or another.
I think you should fly.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Also, Omaha tourist fact: our airport is just getting redone, and they're making it bigger and nicer. So wait like a year, and then it's going to be done. Right now it's a shit show, but it's going to be really nice in about a year.
Okay, start making plans. In about a year, we're going to be heading over there to see you guys.
That sounds fun.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in again this week. We appreciate each and every one of you. Like we always say, it just means so much to us that you even stop by and take a listen. You can find us on all the social medias at Weekly Bizarre Podcast. You can email us if you have any stories, if you'd like to be a guest, if you have something you'd like us to talk about, weeklybizarrepodcast@gmail.com. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/weeklybizarre. $5 a month keeps things moving, keeps things running. We truly appreciate it, whether you do or don't. Like we always say, it just means a lot that you're here. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there. Don't be going in any dense woods because you never know if an albino is going to pop out. Put you in the ass. A naked one.
Cannibal naked one. Sorry. I get it. Right.
And remember, if it's weird,
we're going to talk about it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.